You might think the handlebar production process would be simple, but in fact, to produce a high quality handlebar, it's quite technical and complicated. And let's first talk about the materials that are used. We mentioned before, steel is generally in a low-end product, and we're going to focus on aluminum because the good majority of quality handlebars, all of quality handlebars out there now, are made of aluminum. So they start with a seamless extruded tube like this. This is a thick wall aluminum tube. And then it is sent through a bunch of extruders and dies. It's pushed through. And we're going to have some video footage here to show you how that works. Pushed through and then basically either reduced or compressed, and then later it's bent to get the shape. So how do they do that? Ideally, good quality handlebars use a cold bending process. Cold bending is an absolute necessity because if heat is used, and some companies use it, some brands use heat to bend pipe, bending with heat will sacrifice rigidity and cause weak spots to be formed. So cold bending is ideal, and the best method these days is a quality CNC bending. And what does that mean? CNC stands for computer numeric control. So you have a computerized system, automated system, that does the bending in precise locations at precise amounts of pressure and bend. So it is more accurate, it's more even, there's no crimping or denting which will weaken the handlebar, which can happen if it's done by hand, unless you're like, super professional like a Ferrari type guy making by hand. Most of the hand bent handlebars are going to have defects in the workmanship. So CNC, it's evenly bent, evenly distributed, the materials evenly distributed throughout the bend, and you get a more elegant bend, which means a stronger bend. Then the next thing we talk about is, you see this fat tube? It actually ends up as skinny as this by going through a process called compression. The tube is drawn through a counter die, which is kind of like a small hole it's pushed through, until it's compressed down to the final 7/8 inch diameter here. So especially fat bars, they start off with a fat diameter tube, and then compress down to get to the final 7/8 inch. So 1 1/8 inch ends up at 7/8 inch by compression. This also gives you a thicker tube wall, which again adds to strength. It takes several runs through dies to get this kind of even compression and to give you this super strength. Then the next step we're going to talk about is the finish.